Hello and welcome. If you're watching this recording, you're here to hear more about our spring 2024 catalog of online classes and special events. My name is Becca Oliver. I'm the executive director here at the Writers League of Texas, and I am joined for the first time in a recording like this, but someone who's been around for a while now, by our program director, Sarah Renee Beach. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, happy to be here.
Glad to have you. And we're excited today to talk to you about our spring 2024 season. It's the start of a new year. It's always the time when we get to talk a lot about writing practices, kicking off our year of writing, thinking about looking ahead to our big conference this summer and all of the cool programs that we have for you, special events, classes, write-ins, all of the goodness between here and June. So settle in. We've got some good information for you. And of course, as always, you're welcome to reach out to us anytime if you have questions. But what we're going to talk to you about today specifically is our spring 2024 catalog. What you're going to find in this catalog, this beautiful catalog, is a listing of all of our online classes, a look at all of our special events, including our Third Thursday program, which is a free and open event available for all writers, both virtually and then occasionally in person. Our one-page salon reading series that happens in Austin in person every month. Our write-ins, which are 3 hours of writing time with fellow writers. You go into one virtual space and you say hello and share your intentions for the session. And then you turn off your camera, turn off your microphone, and get to writing. Come back together at the end and just build community while at the same time you're holding yourself accountable by being in a space with other writers to get the work done. And then also our member events, which are open to all Writers League of Texas members. We have special events throughout the year that are for members only. If you want to learn more about becoming a member of the Writers League, there's a link in the catalog for that as well. We offer a lot of services that are specific to our members that can be so helpful for a writer at any stage in their career. And then finally, we have a mention of and a link to find more information about our Agents and Editors Conference, which is coming up in June. So these are all the things we're going to run through for you today. We're going to keep this pretty short, but we did want to give you some highlights along the way. And then, of course, encourage you to reach out at any point with questions. So just to give you a little more information, if you've never taken a class or a special event with us, as you look through the catalog, you can click on any of the descriptions, and that will take you directly to an event page on the Writers League of Texas calendar. That calendar hosts and holds all of our events that you can either pay for if it's a paid program or RSVP to if it's a free program. So you'll just click on the event title or description and it'll take you straight to that page on our website. You can also always find all of this information on our website as well at writersleague.org. And you can reach out to us at WLT@writersleague.org if you have any questions. So we're going to go through month to month, January through June, but I want to start by saying a reminder as well, or if you've never taken a class with us, just the information for you that all of our classes take place on either Saturday mornings or Wednesday evenings. They're 3 hours in length. They're primarily instruction based, meaning you have a really established, interesting, cool, very expert instructor who's going to teach you on whatever that given topic is. And they're going to spend a lot of the time doing lecture, but they're also going to make way, if appropriate, for writing exercises and also group discussion, if that makes sense. So each class page, each event page will tell you what you can expect in that class and give you a really great idea of whether or not it's for you. So with that said, here we are, January 2024. I'm going to turn it over to the person who has been working really hard for months now to put together this catalog and bring together just a really cool assortment of classes, instructors, topics, you name it. So Sarah, without further ado, what do you have for us What are you excited about for January?
Yes, so January, we are kicking things off with an amazing class called Write Before You Write, Outlining, Planning, and Plotting. And this is all about getting started. Whether you are about to embark on a new project, or whether you've started a new project and sputtered a little bit, or you're wanting to pick up a, a project, this is a great class for getting you started in a way that you are thinking ahead about your project, and it'll take you through all of the roadblocks you may come across and help you work through them before you even get to those.
I
And then
think it's
our second,
also, oh, I'm sorry, just to say, especially, and this is the Jennifer Ziegler class, right?
yeah, so
Um,
Jennifer Ziegler.
Especially for folks who are curious about outlines and curious about those specific tools that you might use to prep yourself for writing, the ways that we write before we write. Jen is just a genius when it comes to all of that. And so even if the question is, I've never outlined before, is what would outline add to my writing life? You're going to learn that in that class.
Absolutely. And then our second class in January is Beginnings Boot Camp, Start Your Story, Hook Your Reader with the brilliant Chaitali Sen. And this class is all about beginnings. It's about arguably the most important part of your book is how you hook your readers, how you start your story, how you introduce them to the new world of your story. This class is for anyone working in a long form project, whether memoir or fiction. And this class is also the first installment of our very exciting class package, the narrative arc class package. And this will be different than what we've done before in that it's going to be three classes, a class on beginnings, a class on middles, and a class on endings, all led by Chaitali Sen. So you'll have continuity and instructor, and you'll have continuity in the other class package participants. And you'll work throughout the season on your project. So the beginnings class is in January, the middles class is in March, and then the endings class is in May. So it'll give you time between these classes to really apply what you learned in them and then go to the next class ready to work on that next portion of your story. So really exciting opportunity with this class package.
I love it. And I also love that it's great for whether you're just getting started on a project, and certainly like the time between each class maybe gives folks who are truly generating content to be thinking about beginnings now and working on some material before they get to the middles, before they get to the endings. But it's also great for anyone who has a first draft, anyone who's in the revision stage, really wherever you're at. If you're writing a book length novel or memoir, this is going to be a great class package for you. I think it's so exciting to have a class package taught by the same instructor. And then our big special event in January is our very first third Thursday of the year. Every month we host a third Thursday program. This is an opportunity for writers. It's free and open to all. So an opportunity for writers to come together in one space. It's virtual unless we note otherwise, to hear interesting conversations, to hear presentations, whatever it might be that month on a given topic, a craft topic, a business of writing topic. So we start out January, of course, it's new year, new you. So we're starting with the Writer's Toolbox, preparing for the year ahead. We have a great panel discussion planned for January 18th, and we're excited to see you all there. Check it out. So moving on to February, what do you have in store for us for classes in February, Sarah?
Yeah, so our first February class will be on writing from multiple points of view with Kristen Bird. Kristen will actually be at January 3rd, Thursday. And her debut novel was written from 4 different perspectives. So she knows her stuff on this topic, but she'll cover things like how to make sure your voices are distinct, how to know where to apply focus, how to make sure your story is evenly told between perspectives. This is a really exciting class. And then our second class in February is writing historical fiction with John Pipkin. And we've received so many requests to have a historical fiction class. So I'm excited we've got one on the calendar for February. And John Pipkin is such a WLT favorite. He's a brilliant person, great person, and we just knew he was the man for the job. So I'm excited about this class.
Yeah, and John has written some really beautiful historically set novels, and so just really knows his stuff. It's such a perfect fit. For our February 3rd Thursday, one of the, a very important part of historical fiction, you could argue, is having fully realized settings. And for any fiction that is set in a place unknown to most, it's such an important part of the writing process to really bring that setting alive. And who can't think of a novel that they've picked up where they just felt truly transported? And so we're going to talk to writers about that, about transporting your readers with your fiction. We have our Saturday Craft Seminar in February. This is our only Saturday Craft Seminar for this season, and I really hope that you'll come join us. Jamie Attenberg, who is a hugely successful writer who has published both fiction and nonfiction, has written a craft book called 1000 Words, which is based on a project that she launched a few years ago. And so we're going to talk to Jamie. Jamie's actually going to give a presentation on this idea of generating new words, getting the words on the page, and especially from the focus of this craft book that is publishing in January 2024. And then everyone who registers for this Saturday Craft Seminar is going to receive a copy of the book. So you get a copy of the book and you get to hear from Jamie Attenberg, followed by a conversation with her. So check out our Saturday Craft Seminar. February is our month of write-ins for this season. So we will be doing 10 write-ins, 3 hours each, 30 hours total over the course of the month. Come to one, come to three, come to all of them. We'd love to have you there. It's a really special way of building a community of writers and giving yourself some writing time and some writing space. And then finally, we have our one-page salon back for the first time in 2024 in February. So we hope if you're in the Austin area that you'll check out the One Page Salon. Join us for this really cool live reading series that happens every month. 5 writers read from a work in progress, read one page, and it's just a super fun time. So then we move on to March, where I know we really start to kick it into high gear with our classes. And so, so many cool topics for March I can see just looking at this slide. But what do you want to share with us about these March classes?
Yeah, so we have 5 classes in March. The first class of the month will be using research to enhance your memoir. And I think this is great because when you're writing memoir, your memories can be limiting. But Ursula Pike is teaching this class, and she's going to show us how you can use research to add context and texture and really enrich your personal story. And we have another class on memory that'll be in April, and we think of them kind of working in tandem. The other memory class is called Tackling the Problems of Memory with Rachel Starnes, and that's all about like the limitations of your memory. Because when you are writing memoir, you're building off of a personal story and your personal memories, but they can only get you so far in the story. And we think of these classes working together to really help you build a rich, complex memoir.
Yeah, so memoir writers, take note. We have 2 really great classes for you this season, and they are complementary and meaning they complement each other. And I think it's really cool that we're going to be able to give you that experience of kind of digging deep into research and then digging deep into the question of memory when it comes to memoir.
Yes. And then the second class of the season is the Agent Search Tips, Tricks, and Timeless Advice with the one and only Becka Oliver. Becca,
That's
do you want to
me.
tell us a little bit more about that class?
Yeah, I love teaching this class because it's an opportunity to just talk a little bit about publishing today and introduce folks who aren't very familiar with traditional publishing, with what that process looks like, who the major players are in that process. And then, of course, the first step on the path to publication, if you're looking to be published by a Random House or Simon and Schuster, or any of the traditional publishers, is to find a literary agent. So we touch a lot on that process as well. And it is intended to leave no question unanswered. So I love it when folks show up and just are really ready to listen, but then also throw out whatever question they have that maybe they just haven't been able to ask before, haven't felt comfortable asking, whatever it might be. So I hope you'll join us.
Awesome. And then the third class of March is a class on writing flash fiction. And this is with Christine Sneed, and it'll be her first time teaching with us. She's a huge get. She's an award-winning fiction writer who's known for her innovative forms. She has a novel that's written entirely in interoffice memos, which I think is very fascinating. And this is all about the precision required to write flash fiction. And so I think whether you've written flash fiction before or you're just, you're like, what is flash fiction? This will be a really great class for prose writers to really hone their craft. I think the form has so much to offer. Um, and then the fourth class of March is the second installment of our narrative arc class package on middles with Chaitali Sen. And I think middles are, sometimes the hardest part of writing a long form story. And so Chaitali is really going to help you, navigate that difficult portion of like muddling through the, people say they muddle through the middle or the messy middle. She'll really help you kind of hone in on the middle, which is really where you get to the heart of your story. And then the last class of March is Better Prose Through Poetry with Charlotte Gulick. And I know I might be biased because I'm a poet, but they say that poets write the best prose. And I think there's something to that because I do think the economy of language, the texture, the really like honing in on an image in poetry really makes for very compelling, evocative prose. And Charlotte agrees, and Charlotte has taught this class for us before. It's received rave reviews. And I think this will just be a really, really great craft class for prose writers.
Yeah, and I love those classes that we offer, like this one, that are really for writers who are writing anything. And it's just finding other forms or other creative areas where you might challenge yourself or learn something new by borrowing from someone, something that's already established. And poets we admire so much for their use of the language and the way that they say so much with so few words often, that it is really fun. I think when we offer these classes that are whatever you're writing, you're going to find something to kind of shake up your writing if you take this class. And our March 3rd Thursday, we are at Book People in Austin. This is a return to Book People for our first time this year with a third Thursday panel discussion called Dedicated, Who We Write For and Why. So we are going to bring together 3 really cool authors to talk about, dedicated. You think, oh, they're going to talk about who their books are dedicated to. Sure, we're going to talk about that, but we're really going to talk about that idea of the ideal reader or the person that's in your mind when you're crafting a story, who you're thinking about as you're writing, as the ultimate reader of that book, and how you even begin to figure out who that might be and how that impacts your writing, if you have that person or that reader in mind very early in the process, or if that reader becomes more and more clear as you go along. We're going to talk about all of it, and it's going to be a great conversation. So if you're in the Austin area, come out. We'd love to see you in person. We get a lot of people at these events, and so it's also a great way to mix it up with other writers. But do not worry if you can't be there. We know a lot of you are not in Austin. You're going to be able to watch it live streamed on our YouTube channel. So we've got you covered. And then moving into April, here we go. What do you have for us in April, Sarah?
Yeah, so April is National Poetry Month. And so to kick off this exciting month, our first class is on poetic forms with Dr. Taylor Bias. And I love what she's calling this class. It's Form and Possibility, Finding Freedom Within Constraints. And Taylor was on our November 3rd Thursday panel on structure. And the way she talked about poetic forms and what they can offer, what they can help you generate, and the element of surprise they offer, it was just so inspiring. And we knew we had to get her to teach a class on this. And so that's our first class of the season. And then the second class of I'm sorry, of April. And then the second class of April is crafting a compelling query letter with the one and only Becca Oliver.
Ah, that's me again. And I'll just say that if you've attempted a query letter, you know how hard they can be to write. If you don't even know what a query letter is, but you're looking to work with a literary agent or be published by traditional publishers, I can guarantee you, you're going to have to learn what a query letter is and learn how to possibly craft one. The good news is it's really possible. And I'm going to give you some very clear, straightforward tips on how you're going to craft one for yourself. So this class will be all about just getting you to the point where you have a solid draft of a query letter through some exercises, through some group work, through some lecture, the whole thing. So I'm excited for it.
Awesome. And then the next class of April is that second complementary memory and memoir related class. It's called Tackling the Problems of Memory and Memoir with Rachel Starnes. And again, this class is all about the limitations of our memories and how we deal with that when we're writing personal stories. I think this will be a really important class for anyone who's working in that genre. And then the next class in April is Introduction to Picture Books, Writing for Young Readers with Liz Garten-Scanlon. Liz is a very accomplished children's book author and just overall wonderful person. If you've ever had an idea for a children's book, if you've, started to write a children's book, this class is for you. She knows the ins and outs of the industry, of the market, of what's important when you're writing a children's book, how to make it interesting for both the children, but also for the adults that have to read the stories over and over again. So I think this will be a great class. And then the last class in April is a deep dive into dialogue with Stacy Swan. Stacy's brilliant, wonderful, a WLT fan favorite instructor. And what an important topic. I mean, dialogue really does make or break a lot of stories. And I love what she said in her description for this class, that this more than some other craft elements can be taught, and she knows how to teach it. So don't miss out on this class.
Yeah, I love that. What a great lineup of classes in April. Third Thursday in April, now hear this, a look at audio publishing today. We love to talk about different aspects of the industry and share information, but also take the temperature of where those various pieces of the industry are today. So we're gonna bring a fan favorite, Lance Fitzgerald, who is at Penguin Random House Audio in, and Lance and I are going to chat about audio publishing today. I imagine a lot of you these days, at least some of your books you're reading with your ears. And so we're going to dive into that. And especially if you're doing your own stuff and you're interested in understanding how audios work on that side of things, the marketing of audios, what are the sales outlets for audios, any bit of that sort of insider industry stuff, we'll touch on that too. So that's our April 3rd, Thursday, the audio industry. And then here we get into May. So a lot of great classes in May. What highlights or what do you want to share with us, Sarah?
Yeah, May is another jam-packed month with classes. Our first class in May is on information gathering and structure in narrative nonfiction. And this will be taught by Michael Hall, who is an incredible magazine writer for Texas Monthly. If you've read a long piece in Texas Monthly that gripped you and was interesting and complicated and gritty, it was written by Michael Hall. And he's going to get into how to interview, how to get those, really important pieces that are required for the story, and then how to structure the story. And so that's going to be a really fabulous class for anyone who's writing narrative nonfiction. And then the next class in May will be Demystifying Intricately Plotted Mysteries with Sherry Thomas. Sherry Thomas is a very accomplished mystery writer. She writes the Lady Sherlock mystery series, and so she knows her stuff when it comes to writing mystery novels. And anyone who's interested in writing mystery, has been writing mystery, or wants to kind of add mystery elements to their work, um, because aren't mysteries so wonderfully page turning? This is a great class for that. And then the next class in May is Twisting Facts into Stories with Antonio Ruiz Camacho. And this class is great for anyone who wants to build a story off of something real, whether that be a personal story or whether it be current events or maybe like a tidbit from the news or a family mythology. It's all about taking those facts and building an entire story on top of those. So anyone who's looking to just be inspired by the real world, I think this is a great class. And then the next class in May is Lessons from Screenwriting, Creating Compelling Scenes. And this is with Beverly Chukwu, who's a screenwriter. And who better to learn about scene than from a screenwriter? She's going to get into how to write compelling scenes, but also how scenes work together to tell the story. And so I think this will be a really, really wonderful class. And then the final class of May and the final class of the season is that last installment of the narrative arc class package on endings with Chaitali Sen. And this is all about leaving that lingering feeling in your reader of, I want to pick up the next book by this author, whether that's leaving them hanging or tying things up. It's all about the destination and the resolutions and putting that really compelling, lingering ending on the end of your story.
I'm so excited for that series because when you're working on the beginning is the hardest thing. When you get to the middle is the hardest thing. And when you're heading towards the ending is the hardest thing. And so to have this opportunity through this season to kind of have your hand held by an amazing instructor, be surrounded by some other writers who are going through the same 3-class experience and go through those important pieces of story together is super cool. And what a season. It's exciting to me to look at it again now with you and hear you talk about it, Sarah, because I know you've been with these classes for a while now. You've done such a great job of creating a really well-rounded and balanced season of classes. And I'm just so excited for folks to dive in and check them out. Our May 3rd Thursday is adaptation, going from book to screen. We are going to talk to at least one author, maybe more than one, or maybe one industry person, but we're going to talk about that process, right? We have a screenwriting class on scene building here in May, but we also are going to talk about that actual really mystifying part of the industry, which is how does a book go from being a book to being on your big or small screen. So I'm so excited for that conversation. Coming up is our May 3rd Thursday. Again, all of our 3rd Thursday programs are free and open to anyone. We hope you'll register for all of them. And then here we go to June with our final 3rd Thursday of the season, and that's going to be the big debut, What to Know About Publishing Your First Book. We'll talk to some writers who have gone through that recently, so some debut authors about that process, and that it's going to set us beautifully up for the big, big event of 2024, which is our Agents and Editors Conference. If you've never been, it is one of the best writers conferences you will ever go to. It's a weekend-long event in person in Austin, Texas, June 21st to the 23rd this year. We have panel discussions, presentations, one-on-one consultations with agents and editors. We call it the Agents and Editors Conference because we bring between 20 and 25 literary agents and book editors and other publishing professionals to Austin for the weekend, and they are a big part of the program for the event, but it's also a great opportunity to meet other writers to meet published authors who are both here in our immediate community, but folks that we bring in from other places. We'll have keynote speakers. We'll have great evening activities. We'll have genre meetings where you'll get to meet other writers writing in the same genre or category that you write in. And it is guaranteed a weekend that you will leave feeling warm and happy and inspired and having made some connections, whatever those connections might be, I guarantee you. So it is a big deal weekend. It is super fun. We are registering writers already, and I hope that you'll check it out and also reach out to us if you have any questions, because we are always happy to answer any questions and help you understand a little bit more about the weekend and what's in store for you. But you can find a lot of information on our website. And so if you stuck around with us for this whole conversation, then we have a special discount for you. If you're interested, you can get 10% off one class in this catalog if you use this code before January 31st. So if you're watching this before January 31st, WLT 24 spring is your code. When you put a class into your cart on our website and you go to the checkout, you're just going to put this in as your coupon code. At the end, it's just our way of saying thank you to you for taking some time to listen to us talk about these programs that we love so much and are so excited for. And also, if you've never taken a class with us, maybe this will be an incentive to try one out and see what they're all about. So keep that code in mind. And then, of course, you're always welcome to reach out to us. You can find us on our website, writersleague.org, where there's a lot of information. The calendar of events is there, where every event we have coming up will be listed. But you can also always email us at wlt@writersleague.org if you have any questions. We're so excited for 2024. We're excited to start this year with you and do everything that we can to support your writing. So remember that we're here for you, and we hope that we see you soon. Sarah, any parting words you want to share?
I just can't wait to see you all at an event or class in 2024.
Yeah, we're here for you guys. So thank you for listening and have a great rest of your day.